Adobe Experience Manager Forms, or we can call it as a AEM forms. First we'll see what is a form. Okay, so I think if you have a experience on web application or web development, so you must have knowledge on form. Your form is basically a interact with the user and collects the data for processing the particular task, right? Suppose I take an example in Naukri.com. If you click on the Naukri register page, so it will ask the personal details and employment details and education details, all the details they will ask, right? So that is nothing but a forms only. If you click on the personal tab, it will ask for your name, email ID, password, mobile number, total experience, and your resume, and then it will ask one button, register button. So this is nothing but a small form only, nothing but a form, like application form. So once you fill the details, you click on the register, it will ask for the employment details. After filling the employment details, it asks for the education details. So here it's capturing all the details of your particular applicant. So he has to enter all the data. So after that, your resume will be uploaded and your profile will be created in the Naukri.com. So for this purpose, they are using the forms. So that form is capturing all your user details and processing them backend, and it will create the user account for the particular user, right? So that is the main purpose of the form. So if you see in HTML or web applications, you can see like this syntax, like form, name, and ID, and give some details and closing bracket of closing tag for the forms. So nothing but this is a syntax for the forms. So each form have one ID and each form has some name. By using this name or ID, we can get the elements and we can process the requests, right? So by using here, we are using the form elements. So form elements nothing but like text box and checkbox, buttons, drop down. All these things we can call it as a form elements, right? By using these form elements, you can capture the user data. So by using these form elements, user can get or post data to server. So once you enter the data, click on the register button, so it will go to the server and it will create, you do some process and it will create the ID or something, it will generate and it will send to your mail confirmation. Your account has been created successfully or something. You will get, they will send the email notification to particular user. So what is the main purpose of this one is to reduce the paperwork. To reduce the paperwork, they introduce the forms, right? Suppose, take an example, if there is no form in the Naukri. So Naukri is not an online application, so they have offline, suppose. So what we have to do, we have to enter, we have to take the our biodata application and we have to fill and then you have to put signature and give to the particular office, right? So these are olden days, like employment exchange was there, right? So in the olden days, the people are using to fill the forms and submit it to the employment exchange offices. So once you are in online web world, right? So in the web world, so everything is captured through online. So like here we enter the data through online. So that is nothing but a form. So by using the forms, you can capture the data, user data, and they will process something in the backend, and they will give something to the end user. Like once he successfully log in, then he can able to browse the available jobs and he can apply the jobs. All these things are user can perform, right? So that is why they introduce the forms. So to main purpose is forms is to reduce the paperwork So if paperwork is there, so there are so many errors will also come, right? Suppose you want to some spelling mistakes or some address changes. These things will be there. For this, again, we have to strike the particular column, and again we have to override, and we have to submit the new form or something. So these are main user errors, right? So to reduce this user errors also, we can go with the forms, or you can call it as e-forms. Like here in web forms, in AIM also we have forms. So these forms are called as a digital forms, or you can call as a e-forms. Like your digital forms means everything is on online, so we can enter the data, we can submit the form, everything in on the fly only. So and e-forms. So the important is advantage is easily import and manage the preview and publish the forms. Suppose if you take example in Naukri, so if you want to preview, right? Or if you want to publish the, not publish, you suppose you want to preview the application. Suppose you entered the four forms. There are three tabs, right? Personal, employment, education. Suppose you entered the first two tabs. After that, you want to see the preview, how it looks like, right? So that is not possible in the web applications. So if you go with the AIM forms, then you can see how it looks like so while during the runtime. So we can test and we can see, right? So easily, and these forms are very easily integrated with the business process, right? Suppose you take example. Suppose you have a credit card, okay? You want to submit that credit, you will get the email, right? Credit card generation. So take example that is a automated process, okay? They're done by AIM, okay? For instance, so you will get the your statement, credit card statement, right? So that credit card statement nothing but a form. So they will develop the one template, like header and footer and how many table, like in the table and address column. So offers. So these things are they defined, predefined template will be designed. So on top of it, they will add the data and circulate to the user, right? So similarly, if in AIM also, so we have integration with the process. Our backend is very easy compared to other because it's integrated with the AIM server, right? So forms will be integrated with the AIM server. So once you design the form in the AIM, then we can integrate it easily. And this AIM form supports both web and mobile channels. Suppose if you want to create one form, okay, so no need to worry. So once you create the form, then it will apply for both web or mobile forms also. No need to worry about the alignment and how it looks like, right? So no need, because by default AIM forms are responsive. So that is the one point. And for designing the forms, we can go with the designer. AIM designer is there. So by using AIM designer, we can design the forms or templates we can design. I told you, right? First they will design the template, right? So for that we can go with the designer. AIM designer is there, so we can design the forms over there. So for deploying purpose, so they have the web consoles. By using web consoles, they can deploy the process or forms. So that I will explain in later sessions. Next. Next, we'll see what are the features, the basic advantages with the AEM forms. Right? So, layout will be dynamic. Right? Suppose we created of the form. After that, client came and no, I don't want to this layout. I want different layout. Okay. So if you do same thing in the web design, so again it's a nothing but a scratch work. Again, we have to start from the scratch. But whereas in AEM, so we can change mm, immediately and it will take time, but not that much time, right? So that is a dynamic layout options are there. So forms we can change the layouts, and each form field we can validate. So similarly in web applications also we do validations, right? So here also we have validations with minimal script. Whereas in our web development, so we have to write the bunch of code for validations, right? So here no need to write that bunch of code. So we can write 2-3 lines of code, then it will validate the fields. And it has supports the JavaScripts. So it supports JavaScript. So if we know JavaScript, then we can easily write the JavaScript for the form elements. And mainly that deals with the XML data. Forms are mainly deals with the XML data because nowadays everything is XML, right? Request or response, all these things are handling through XMLs only, right? So here also we can mainly deal with the XML data only. And main advantage of this forms is we can save the form on client side as well as server side, right? Suppose you fill the form, suppose you have the form. Once you develop the form, suppose for instance, we take example like loan application. You are applying the loan. Okay, you entered some details. After a few enter the few details, you need some information from the bank or some other person, third party. So what you have to do, you can click on save, right? Later, once you get the data from the third party or bankers, then you can continue the same. So that form will be saved in your local desktop. You can save that copy in your local desktop. So once you get the data from the third party or bankers, then you can continue resume the filling the form. So whereas if you can close the form once you fill the data. Suppose you have 100 fields, so you entered 25 fields or 30 fields. After that, you need some clarifications. You just save the form in your local and you can close the form. So after 1 week or 2 days, you can get open the form and they can resume filling the form. So this is the main advantage of AEM forms. Similarly, we can save same in the server side also. But server side means again we have to read this file from the server. Again we have to resume the filling the data, right? So these features are available in the AEM. So this is the main advantage of AEM. And suppose you want to attach your some files. Suppose you are applying the loan, right? So you need to attach the CLDD or any property tax detail something. So we can attach to the form. We can submit to the respective organization. So that feature is also available in this AEM forms. So these are the main features of the AEM forms. Next we will see form types. Basically we have in AEM there are 3 types of forms: PDF forms, HTML forms, and adaptive forms. So in AEM we have 3 types of forms. They classified as a form in 3 types of forms. One is PDF form, one is the HTML5 form, and adaptive forms. So we can call it as HTML or HTML5 forms. So we'll see one by one. So what is the PDF form, what is the HTML form, what is adaptive forms? So what are the difference between these among these three, and which one is useful, and what are the pros and cons of each and every form type. Okay, next we'll see this one by one. First we'll go with the PDF forms. Okay, so PDF forms, so we can call it as a life cycle forms or a pixel forms. So actually in AEM, before AEM, so Adobe has a product Adobe Lifecycle. So by using the Adobe Lifecycle Designer, so they design the forms, they design the PDF forms. They design the PDF forms and they can fill the forms and can submit the form. All this funda they do through Adobe Lifecycle suite. There is a one tool was there. So by using that tool, they used to create the PDF forms. So most of the banks are using this that tool only. Like suppose you're getting the credit card bill, right? So how they generate credit card bill means they will design the form first, then they will write the one process. So Adobe Cycle is a suite is nothing but a one backend as well as front end. The full package was there. So now it's a deprecated Adobe Lifecycle. So now everything is a AEM only. Once they move to the AEM, so they stop the Adobe Lifecycle. Then everything is moved to the AEM. So in PDF forms, so they will create the PDF forms by using the designer and want to do some business process. So they have the workbench. So by using the workbench, they will do the process. Like suppose you fill the form, loan application. So what next? So once you submit the form, so by using the workbench, they will process the request. So like once you click on the button, so it will go to the proper approvers. So then they will review the form, then they will give the feedback, like whether accept or reject something they will do. So at last they will approve and they will send back to the user, like your loan process is approved or your loan request is rejected or hold, something they will give the feedback. Yeah, as I told you, so these forms we can fill offline and online, right? So as I told you, so suppose you are filling the form, online form, loan form. After filling the some details, we have some clarification from bankers. Then we can save in a local. And then once you get the clarification from the banker, then you can open the form. We can fill the rest of the details. We can submit. Like we can save the form in your local desktop. So this facility is available in the PDF forms as well. And this PDF forms support the 2D barcode. So I think if you see any credit card statements or any other statements, Amazon statements, all these things, you can get the 2D barcodes. Barcodes will be there, right? So those barcodes we can design in the PDF forms. And they have digital signature facility. Like suppose you want to apply the form 16, right? Or you get the form 16, right? So there is, we can see the digital signature, right? So those kind of digital signature feature is available in the PDF forms. Like that is we digital signature nothing but is e-signature only, right? So instead of writing your signature, so just you can give the your password and then it will be sign your particular document or form. Means it is authorized. So and so person only put the signature for this particular form. That kind of uh, feature is all there in the PDF forms. That is called a digital signature. So by using a digital signature, so you can give the approvers. So that feature also available in the PDF forms. And main drawback in the PDF forms are like these forms are not responsive. Like suppose if you develop the form for layout for desktop, so it will display layout. It will display properly in the our desktop channel only. If you open the same PDF in your mobile, so then alignment will be disturbed. If you open the form in the PDF, then alignment will be disturbed. Like it will, but if you open the same form in the desktop, then it will be fine. But whereas if you open the same form in the mobile, it won't work. Suppose if you design the a layout for the particular device like iPhone, if you open the same form in the desktop, then alignment will be disturbed and it not looks good. It looks like a very odd. So this is the drawback for the PDF forms, right? So the PDF forms are, you can call it as a life cycle forms, and main advantage is we can fill the forms offline or online, and it will support the digital signature and the 2D barcode. So these are the advantages of this PDF forms. And by using the Adobe Lifecycle Designer, they used to develop the forms. Now we have AEM Designer, Adobe Experience Manager Designer is there. By using the designer, we can design the forms, PDF forms as well. Okay. Next we'll see HTML forms. We can call it as HTML5 forms also. Okay, so these forms are, you can call it as a browser forms. Like these forms will render into the web browser, and there we can fill the form. You can submit the your application or form. So here also we have to design the form in the designer also. So we can design the form in the designer. We can convert that PDF form into the HTML5 forms. Okay. So and similarly here also we can save, and we can save both offline and online. We can save the PDF HTML form as well. So and this supports both the desktop and mobile browsers, right? So as I told you, Roy, PDF forms are not responsive. Suppose you open the form in the mobile browser, then it will alignment will be changed. But whereas in HTML, so it will be some extent it will be auto responsive. It will convert to the form and it will display properly in the browser, right? And it has this advantage like e-signatures, like Scribble signature and e-signatures are also available in this HTML forms. But still it's a pixel forms only, like in PDF forms and also pixel, right? So here also pixel forms only, but it will be responsive. And disadvantage like PDF forms, right? I told you, right? We can convert the PDF forms into the HTML file, right? So some document objects doesn't support. Like in PDF forms, as I told you, we can attach the files, right? So that kind of functionalities will not support in the HTML5 forms. So for that, we need to go with a different approach to achieve the same. So these are the main advantage and pros and cons of the HTML5 forms, right? Like this is a browser, you can call it as a browser server and support both mobile and desktop browsers. And we signature fields are available like e-signature and scribble signatures. Scribble signature, you know, right? So we can write on fly signature. So next, and the whereas in the con side, so it will still use a pixel forms and it doesn't support the document objects in HTML5. So these are about the HTML5 forms. In the later sessions, we will see how to create the HTML forms and how to convert PDF forms to HTML forms. Why? What are the disadvantages? So we can see in the live examples. Yeah. Okay. Moving to next type, adaptive forms. Yes. So adaptive forms. So these forms are responsive in nature. Like once you create the form, then it will be auto layout. Right? If you open the form in the iPhone, it will automatically change the layout and it will display properly. If you open the Android application, it will be layout will be changed automatically and display properly. Web, desktop, wherever you can, mobile browsers, wherever you open, forms will be designed. Forms will be auto render and it display properly. Here we can add or remove the fields dynamically. So all three forms, type of forms, you can do the add and remove the fields dynamically. That is not an issue. Here also we can do the add or remove the fields dynamically, and we can change the layout in dynamically also. And these are supports RESTful web services. So I forgot to tell you. So in the PDF forms, by it supports only the SOAP services. For REST services, we have to go with the third-party JavaScripts. But whereas in adaptive forms, it supports RESTful web services. No need to worry about the RESTful. Nowadays, everything is moving to the RESTful, right? Instead of SOAP, because it's more secure and lightweight. So that's why people are moving to REST services. So adaptive forms are supports RESTful web services. So here each request and response is coming as a REST only. Okay. So here also we can save form in the offline or online. So same feature there, carry forward all the forms like PDF, HTML5 and adaptive. And more advantage is easy integrated with the mobile app tools. Like I know if you know the mobile apps like PhoneGap and Xamarin applications. So there also they have the forms. Okay. Suppose client have the already designed the forms in the AEM. Okay, so they want to go with the, instead of going with the uh, AEM mobile app, they want to go with the PhoneGap or a Xamarin app. Okay, then we can easily integrate with these forms with the those tools. Yeah, very simple. So very simple. For PhoneGap is they have the plugin is already built in. So we just install the plugin package on the fly. We can integrate with the PhoneGap applications, and the form will be rendered in the PhoneGap mode app. So these are adaptive forms. So now everyone is moving to the adaptive forms from the PDF and HTML forms. So because it's responsive, right? So all are moving to adaptive forms. So future is also adaptive forms only in AEM. So these are very important, and you should learn more on this. Concentrate on more on this adaptive forms. Next. So we'll see. So these are the types of forms. Okay. So what is, I think you people are know about the AEM, right? So in AEM we have two flavors. One is AEM OSJ, another one is AEM JE form server. There are two types. Okay. So AEM comes with the two flavors. One is OSJ and one is JE. Okay. So JE servers come up with the, like I told you, designer, application server, and workbench and the repository. Okay. Whereas in OSGI, it will come with repository, web server, or web application framework and repository. Sorry, repository, web application server, and web application framework. Okay, so JE server is a legacy. Legacy system. I told you, right? Adobe Lifecycle Enterprise Edition. So that is nothing but a AEM JE form server. So it's, I told you, it's a lifecycle is deprecated. No? So most of the clients are using this lifecycle, right? So for them, they move to AEM JE version. So still they're supporting this JE version, like for existing customers designing the existing Adobe Lifecycle applications, right? So they can easily migrate from there to here with the minimal changes or minimal effort. And then they, on top of it, we can create the HTML or adaptive forms. So for these adaptive forms, HTML, they for later uses. So for immediately they want to switch from lifecycle, they go with the AMJE servers, server flavor. You go, so suppose you want to fresh application or fresh assignment, then I prefer go with AEM OSGI. Okay.
Uh, AMJE server default application server is JBoss, whereas in OSGI default application server is Jetty web server. In both flavors, we can integrate with third-party application servers, WebLogic or WebSphere and JBoss servers. Right? That's it for the introduction about AIM forms. In later sessions, we can look into more details how to create all three types of forms and how to installation the AIM instance. So we'll see in the later sessions all these things. Thank you for watching this video. Bye. Thank you.